Okay, so the next step is I want to figure out how to cut the space for the godet. So I bought out the pattern piece because I was trying to remember where was the waist, because on the pattern pieces I do have a line for the waist and they also have a line for the hip, and so that's why I brought this one in. So I'm literally just matching. So this is like the front side that I'm using because that's what I'm going to cut it from. So all I did was just match the notches so I can align it properly on the pattern, and that's it. So this is my waist and this is my hip, and it's actually going to be easier for me to cut it on the pattern paper first before I cut it on here. But the problem is that I still want to use this pattern piece to make another dress, and I don't want to mess up this. Even though, yes, if I cut it out, I could tape it back. I don't really want to mess this up. So I'm thinking, and this might be a very, very crazy idea. Should I just like redraw this pattern? Like, I'm thinking I could redraw the pattern, or that might be a crazy idea because I'm worried that I'll redraw the pattern and I'll mess it up. But I could redraw the pattern, and then that way I don't have to worry about messing this up. I could just cut the I could just redraw this pattern and then cut the godet part out of it, or I could cut it out of this and I could just tape it back. Which one is a better idea? I don't know. I know what a better idea is, but the problem is that I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I know what the right idea is, but the problem is I'm lazy. Okay, but before we even get there, let me see if I could do a lazy version just for the testing. I don't need to think about that right now. So we're back looking at the pattern. So this is our waist. I'm just gonna mark where is my waist. So this is my waist. This is my waist on the fabric. I'm just marking my waist. And this is my hip on the fabric, right? Okay, I'm just gonna mark that. I wish I had sewn this to this side. I could iron it down, but who has time for that? To make my life easier. So I'm just gonna align it to this. So this is my waist and this is my hip. I'm gonna use, because my measurements and the pattern measurements are not the same, I'm just gonna use the pattern measurements. I'm just gonna fact that my hip is higher than this. It doesn't matter. The waist is what matters the most. So this is my waist, and so I want to draw this like that. So what's the best way to do that? I think a tracing paper. Okay, so I'm back with my tracing paper. So I'm using 2 so I don't have to do it twice. I'm just gonna put this down. So I'm trying to find where my waist was. So I'm gonna shift this like that. I'm going to pin this. And then I'm gonna pin it at the bottom so it doesn't shift too much while I'm tracing it. Okay, so now we're gonna trace it. So we're tracing it. Yes, this is my waist. So we're tracing it from here. It's gonna be firm. And I'm gonna stop here because this is just supposed to be my princess sim, right? But I already know that my princess sim on this paper doesn't match the princess sim on my dress exactly. So, okay, I didn't even need a second pattern paper. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, it actually matched. Y'all can see it. It actually matched. It actually went into, oh my god. You guys cannot see that, can you? Unfortunately, you cannot. But it starts from here and it goes into here. See that? It's literally right on my seam. Like, you can't even see the yellow, but it's literally right exactly on my stitch. Miracles. I'm so excited. Okay. So that's that. And I'm just gonna cut it out. Where my scissors at? And I'm just going to cut. So I don't actually need the straight because, like I said, it's just going to my princess seam. I don't even need the pink, but you know, that's just it. And then I'm just gonna cut it out. So I'm gonna cut it out here, following our traced, what we just traced. Probably should have just used pink up top, but it's fine. I was just gonna cut it out. So I'm literally just gonna cut out my princess seam. Is that the right thing to do? Well, that's what I'm doing. So we're just gonna cut it into our princess seam stitch. I don't know if that was exactly the right thing to do, but maybe cutting it, because I have to think about seam allowances too, right? Seam allowances are very important. But oh no, it should be fine. It should be fine, because what I was worried about with seam allowances, it doesn't matter, because I'm adding a flare, so the hip is going to be loose. That was my concern, but no, it's fine. It doesn't matter. We're cutting it out, so now we have this cut out. So I'm going to use this one to cut the second one. So I suppose I have to do all that tracing work again. I'm just going to put this, line it up. Me first. I should also have ironed this down, but laziness. Okay, and it's because I know I'm making a fake dress, that's why I can be lazy. But I'm gonna line it up with the bottom. I'm gonna line this up here. I'm going to pin it so that it stays put. I'm gonna pin it where I'm gonna cut it, right? And I'm not worried about all the way down. Mostly I'm just worried about this curve, right? So just gotta be careful so I don't not prick myself. So this is like, for me, the fun part of sewing is like just figuring out how to make things happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm figuring this, other than them teaching me how to draw a godet and how to make it flare in class, like all of this, I'm just figuring this out on my own on the go. On the fly. So once this hits my curve, I will just go straight down on the princess seam. C'est fini. I've cut my goodies out. And so that's my dress without a hip. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I have a lot of things on my floor. The next thing I'm going to do is, like I said before, is stitch my front and back godets together at the hip. And I marked which one was the hip and which one was the front and the back on these pieces. Okay, the back of my godet is more flared than the front of my godet, so I did it on purpose when I was doing it, because your back is just a bit fuller. So I'm gonna go stitch it in my machine, and then I'm gonna go stitch the front and back pieces together. And after I've done that, I would then stitch at the hip. I would then stitch the front piece, right? The other side. So this is the hip side. The other side, I'm gonna stitch this side of both sides to the front, and then the back one, I'm gonna stitch it to the back. And then when I have done that, I will come back and show you guys what the final look of the test fabric is looking like. My concerns are that the godet is not going to look good, number one. Number two, it might not be flare enough, and in which case I already bought two that is coming tomorrow. And I will test I'll play around with it to figure out the bigness. So those are my number 3. The dress would just not look good. Like it might not be flattering on my body. So we're trying on the dress for the first time in forever. Yes, that's how I'm feeling. I'm excited. Oh my god. Oh, let's see. Stop. Stop. I can't look at it. I can't look at it. You don't understand how excited I am. It's actually the first look. Oh, I cannot. Wait a minute, y'all. I actually did a pretty good job. Okay, so the one thing to wait, let me make sure that my back is all the way zipped. Yeah, ignore the blue zipper picking out, but oh my god, I actually did a decent job. I thought it was gonna come out worse than this. Okay, so the one thing to know is that border is garbage, my background. Because my apartment is a mess, sewing process, okay, is that you can see that the godet is different lengths. That's because the actual thing I cut out was different lengths, so that's what we do it. So, and I noticed that when I was drawing it that this was shorter. This side is shorter than this side. You can see that. I'm trying to hold up the whole thing for you guys to see. You can see that this side is shorter than this side. So of course it's not surprising that when I sew them together that you see the difference in length, right? So you can see the difference in length. So before I actually sew this piece, I am going to, oh, looks like I did make a mistake in one of my stitches here, but that happens. I'll not make a mistake when I make the actual dress. Is that I'm gonna fix that to make it equal lengths, and I'm gonna make sure that the front and the back are matching in length, so that it's not so different in lengths. But like, I am quite proud of this. I'm gonna have to look in the mirror and admire myself, but I'm quite proud of this. And funny enough, it's not even super. It's not even like super crazily obvious that the godet is like longer than the dress itself. Like I thought it was gonna look really crazy, but it doesn't. And this side is very, very full actually. Oh, I'm looking at it. I'm like, right here is very, 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 very full. Like I did some gathers on it because it just felt like it needed gathers to hold it together. But this side is very, very full. And that's because when I was joining the pieces, I swapped how I joined the pieces because I was trying to see if I could manipulate the fact that the lengths were different. So this part feels very, 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 very full compared to like this part. So I think I will stick to the normal way of, yeah, this one doesn't feel as full. Right on top here feels very, very full. But that's just because I swapped how I made the godet. I don't know which one I prefer though. Yeah, it's, you know what? It's not a bad job. It's not a bad job. I actually don't think it's a bad job, y'all. It legitimately could be worse. It legitimately could be worse. So I do have some cleaning up to do for sure. I have some cleaning up to do. Like, do you guys think I need tulle? I'll have to figure that out on my own. But this part is way too full up top here. So I'll make sure that I sew it the same way I sewed this one next time. But yeah, I have some cleaning up to do, but I'm so proud of it. And the strap, you can see it's staying on. Can you see that the strap is staying on? Exactly. Once I reduced the width of it, it seemed like it was able to hook into my shoulder better. I think those thick straps just don't work for my shoulder. But I am so happy. Okay, so yeah, clean up in our shower's house, and then I will I'm gonna remake this using my actual fabrics. Do y'all want to see my actual fabrics? I feel like I just unlocked a new sewing skill, for real, for real. Like, I think this side does look better than this side, for sure. Okay, so these are the fabrics I'm using. This is a tie and dye cotton fabric. I forgot where I bought it from, so sorry to the brand. The idea is to use this purple side. So this purple side is where I'm going to be focusing on cutting for this front part for this fabric, right? So this purple side is what I'm using. And then for the poofy part, so this is cotton. For the poofy part, I'm using polyester. So you guys might have already seen this fabric on my page before. It's polyester. It's beautiful, but I hate polyester. Hate it. It just feels like plastic. It feels like plastic. Can you see how much noise it makes? Can you even see? Why is the light bouncing off the fabric? Why is the light bouncing? Can you see the light bouncing off the fabric? It's a no. This one is a bit better. This one is worse in the polyester. See, this one still feels like there's like a cotton blend. This one is just pure polyester. And you can see this one? This one is fabric. So that's the idea. I'm going to use a purple part of this fabric. And of course the orange pieces might still show. I'm fine with that. I'm not being anal about it. It's literally just like, this is going to be like literally the front. Then we're going to have this shade of, because I feel like in my head I think about this as Olandria's Barbie dress. So I feel like pink and purples give Barbie. So what do you guys think? I think it's going to be cute. I think it's going to be cute. So that's the idea for it. I got to go fix my life. Okay, I'm too excited. That's why I'm still on here, because I'm too excited. But I promise I'm going to cut all these parts off that I... Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. You gotta twirl, you guys. Twirl. Oh. Yes. Okay, I'm done now. Bye. Okay, so we are back. I have made a lot of adjustments in the last few hours. I took a nap even when I woke up, and the ancestors spoke to me in dream. Okay, because that was a good nap. Okay, so one of the things I noticed, because I've made at least, I had the 2 original ones. Then this is it. This is 4. I made 4 godets. I made 4 godets, and after making the first 3, so that was the original 2 you guys saw, and I made this one. I noticed that they kept on, all the flares kind of stayed in the center, and I was wondering, like, because when I did this 3rd one, I purposefully made sure to not gather any around here. So I'm like, look at how ugly that looks. I was like, why is it all gathered in the center, right? And so I took a look at the pattern that I drew. So this is a pattern that I use for my godet. And I just looked at it and I was like, I wonder if it's because when I was making it, you see how there are lines? You see how most of the lines are in the center? And when you look at the ends, there's no line. You see how there's so much gap between this end and this end, right? And you see so many of these in the center. And I was like, that is probably maybe, I don't know the science of it. I don't know the science of it at all. But I was like, that might be why somehow that this ends up being so centered, right? Also, I just felt like there was just too much flare. And since I've already decided I'm going to do tulle, I'm like, I don't need this much flare. And I was kind of just like playing around with it. And I was like, it kind of looks good like this. Like, right? Like, I feel like this looks way better. Plus, Olandria's, let me grab my phone. Plus, Olandria's is not even that flare. You know what I mean? Hers is not, like, you see how very, very flare this is? Like, hers is not even that flare, y'all. It's not even that flare. And hers does have gathers, but we're not doing all that. So, I then decided, okay, let me try again. So, there are 2 things I did, right? In my original pattern paper, I actually cut the front godet under the back godet pieces, right, like I talked about. And then when I cut them out here, I stitched them together. So if you look here, somewhere around here, there's a center stitch, and I stitched them together before I stitched it to here. So I was thinking maybe one of the ways I could get rid of the middle gathers is to just get rid of the stitching too. I mean, I don't even think I even really needed to do that, but anyways, I actually ended up joining both sides, so the back and the front, on the pattern. So instead of having two separate pieces, one for the back and one for the front, I combined them, and then I made it not super flat. So you can see this is a semicircle, versus before I had the front piece as a semicircle, and then the back piece was like a 3/4 of a circle. It was really, really big. But after doing this and seeing that, okay, I kind of like this, because I'm going to put tulle underneath, so I don't even need this to be too flared. I decided to just make one piece that's a semicircle, right? And as you can see, the lines are more evenly spread. I actually used the ruler and made sure that the spacing between each of those lines were about even. It wasn't perfect, but I think I did about 5 inches. I did math, y'all. I did math. After I joined my godet together, I measured the longest width, I divided it by 2. I did math basically to get to this semicircle, so I could spread that wealth around. And so that's just one piece, which makes my life easier. I just have to cut one piece. And this is what I came up with, this part. And you can see that this is so much flatter than the one I had before. But actually, I'm okay with it, because you know what's going to happen. First of all, as you can see that, you saw Olandria's on it. It wasn't, all of these. Like you said, this is a lot of fabric. How does it not have that much fabric? So, because my sewing instructor told me that I should probably use tulle. And at first I was like, I don't want to use tulle. But I'm going to use tulle. I already bought my tulle. We're going to use tulle. So I was like, okay, I like this. You can see. And you can see, like, this is not gathering so much in the middle anymore. So I was like, okay, ancestors, thank you for giving me visions in the dream, okay? So you can see it's very much spread. I had to gather it in the back, but that's fine, because you want more fabric in the back anyways. Okay, so when I pull my tulle, then the tulle is going to lift this up, and it's going to look good. I mean, y'all, what do you think? Okay, let me just pretend that this one, like, once you put the tulle in there, I feel like it's gonna look really good. And now I'm using even less fabric, right? So I get to save some of my fabric on this side. So I'm using even less fabric. So I'm excited. So what I'm gonna do is that I think that this looks really good, to be honest with you guys. I think it looks good. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow, when my tulle comes tomorrow from Amazon, I'm going to test the tulle on this side. This is my right side, and kind of figure out how much tulle I want for it to raise. And then depending on my mood, I might redo this side. It's not gonna be that hard, because I already have, it's the same pattern piece. I just have to cut a new circular fabric, and it's not hard to stitch at all. So depending on how I feel, how confident I feel, I might do it on this side too, but I'm definitely gonna do it on this side first before I do it on my actual fabric. So yeah, that's all I came here to say. And also, this strap is staying put more than the fatter strap. So if you've ever found yourself in a situation as me, where you have straps that fall out, maybe just figure out where your dip in the shoulder is, and just like make sure your straps are laying on that dip. So, but we are moving, y'all. We are moving. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm embarrassing myself. Okay, so these are all the pieces that I will be using for my dress. I took out the back interfacing piece because I don't care about doing that. And I also took out the front tie piece, since I'm replacing my front tie with a flower. And then I took out the flounce on the shoulder, because I don't need that. So I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces. So this is actually going to be super duper easy. Hi everyone, it's Editing Shower here, and y'all, I thought I took a video of me showing you how I was cutting out the fabric, and I did not. I guess I thought I was recording and I was not. It's so unfortunate, okay? But I did want to tell you guys, I did end up redoing the godet. The last update I gave you guys was that I was making it a semicircle, but I actually ended up making it full, and making it a full circle, or almost a full circle, because I had to leave out a space for me to join into the hip. Actually, it looks very similar to the back piece I had originally, and I'll put a picture there. It's very similar to that. It's just that I made sure that the lines that I use were even, so that the flare could be even all around. I did not choose to test it on the test fabric because at this point I was tired. At this point I had made like 5 good days. Okay, yo, I was tired. So I just had to believe and trust in the ancestors who blessed me with these skills that it was the right thing to do. And I ended up just doing it on my actual real fabric. And I was thought I was showing you guys how I was cutting the actual real fabric. My thing was not recording the entire time. So the next update you're guys are gonna get is gonna be day 5, where I actually show you what my outfit looks like with the test fabric. So watch out for that video. It might be coming out either tomorrow or Tuesday. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, if you like this video, like, subscribe. You know what you gotta do. Okay, I'm planning on posting the full look this week. This is Sunday, right? Yes, this week. By the end of this week, we're gonna get the full look of the Olandria outfit. Okay, when I get back home and I can finish the look, because I got needs a break. I've been so I deserve a vacation, and I've been having a great time in Houston, Texas. Okay, I put a little clip of my rodeo experience. Okay, if you've not seen it, go watch it. Bye.